Here's the Varavon GH3, GH4 armor cage. And I want to compare this to the Walimex Pro Aptaris cage. When you get the Veravvon cage, you get this nice little handle, and you get a rod. I think it's a 6-inch rod, in addition to this handle that has its own hex wrench. And the hex wrench you use to tighten all the screws. Now the screws, it's great because you can twist it with your fingers, but then to really lock it in, you use the hex wrench to really tighten it down. And everything is pretty solid metal, aluminum, or some kind of metal. And it's very easy to put together. And there's not a lot you can really do besides put it on this top handle and then lace this hand grip in. Besides that, there is the, like I said, 6-inch rod that I just don't have with me right now, that you can connect in here. And then you have this pin to lock down. In this case, this is the audio port on the GH3, GH4s. They have the audio mic input at the top, and it goes right there. Another good thing about this is you have this plate in the front that prevents it from twisting inside the cage. Once you lock it in, it won't twist. Now in comparison, the Walimex Pro is more of a universal cage. While this one is only for the GH3, GH4, this one you can use for a bunch of cameras that will fit in this minimum width and this maximum height. This minimum height and this maximum height. So this one is more versatile if you have different cameras that are like the GH3, GH4 that are similar size. I fit this on a Canon 80D as well, and it fits. Now if you have a battery grip on the GH3, GH4, you can no longer use the Veravvon cage because you can't move it, you can't adjust the height. But if you have a battery grip and you want to put it on the Walimex Pro, that can adjust. With the Walimex Pro, you get the half cage itself and then the top handle, which isn't as nice as the top handle on the Veravvon. Not a lot you can do with it, but it's easy to grip once you apply it on here. That's nice. And you can do it the other way around too. One of the things I don't like about the Walimex Pro is that it requires additional tools to mount. Versus the Veravvon, you can use your fingers and the included hex wrench there. With the Walimex Pro, they do include a hex wrench for that. It's a different size than that one. You gotta really tighten them down. But then also, the way it mounts on the camera is you need these screws. You need one of these screws to go on the bottom, and then you need this top one. It's a cold shoe mount, and it screws into the top here, and then that's where you can lock down the GH4, GH3 so it doesn't twist. You also have these anti-twist bolts here. They're removable. You can take these out when you have the battery grip. But you have this, it locks in there. This also includes an Arca Swiss plate. So if you have Arca Swiss tripod heads, you can natively put them on, but I didn't include that in this video. And then what you gotta do is you gotta lock down the bottom screw, and you gotta lock it down with a screwdriver. You can't use a coin because once you put it in there, it's recessed. So a coin can't reach it. You're gonna need a screwdriver to go in there and screw it. And with the top, you have a little hex wrench, so you gotta get your hex wrench. Put that in there, tighten that down. Then once you get your size, the height correct, you gotta adjust 1, 2, 3, 4. You gotta tighten those. So you have 4, 5, 6. You have 6 mounting screws that you gotta tighten just to put this on your GH3, GH4. Now this is not a problem if you want to put it on and you want to forget, you want to just leave it on. But I sometimes want to, well, I most often take them on and take them off depending on my shooting environment. Sometimes I need a cage, other times I don't, I need it bare. With the Veravvon, it's just one screw. I just unscrew the bottom with my hand, and then that's it. I can take the camera off and then I'm ready to go. With this one, as I just explained, you have 6 screws you gotta undo to remove it. And that's with any camera. Any camera you put in here, you gotta do it 6 times. Here's the cold shoe, and I just screwed it into the side, but it can easily go on the top. I didn't put it on the top because I have this handle here. I could have also screwed it on the handle. It's a little versatile in that regard, but that's about it. The weight, I would say all in, this weighs a little less than the Varavon, but I can't really tell. The Walimex Pro, it has a lot of proprietary attachments that cost a lot of money, but you know, with other adapters and with your own rig, you could rig this out pretty well. So I like this Veravvon cage a little better for the GH4. Now, having said that, I don't use the cages that often. So in that case, I have different cameras. I have an 80D and I have another Sony RX10 Mark II. I can use this cage on all of those cameras if I wanted a cage, versus the Veravvon, which I can't. The price ranges are very similar. They're within like $40 of each other. So I don't know, if you need a cage that will last other cameras and you don't mind screwing in 6 times to lock them down, this might be a good investment for you. But if you know you're going to stick with the GH4, GH3s for a while, you might want to invest in the Veravvon because it's built for it. You can modify it with universal accessories, and it's a very sturdy build.